My Jee advanced rank was 1352.
That is for backend only.
No. Primarily, we handle the fests. We make the backend architecture, the backend APIs and stuff, the main app and a website for the.
Many people also have doubts like which operating system to choose.
The app dev people will get offended at this, but I don't like just placing some widgets somewhere and stuff. That is not something that I very.
Should they consider videos, docs when they're beginning?
See, when there are a few important post projects that you have. One of them is compiler construction. Anything like cursor or something. If you want to make small projects, it has enough attention for small projects with 5, 10, 20, 30 files at max. Large production level architectures will not have 30 files. They'll have 30,000 files.
Do you have also like interest in startups and entrepreneurship side? Like what are your plans for the future from now? Like you have already finished your third years, so are you aiming for big tech companies? How much can you expect like an average salary? See, like on campus placement.
Hey, this is Nadmi from BITSAT, a founder, developer, and a creator. I love to code and build things. Recently, I was selected for GSOC 2. You can know more about me from LinkedIn. I've started a podcast series called Bits Gem, a show featuring BITSAT folks doing cool stuff in tech, finance, consulting, robotics, academics, and beyond. Hope you will enjoy the show.
Hello, I am Raj. I am a third year student here at BITSAT.
So before proceeding further, let's get bit on the history. How did you prepare for your J mains, advance, and then why did you choose Bits Pilani CS?
See, going back to my JE or JE advanced preparation, mostly it was a bit messed up because of I am mostly COVID batch. So 11, 12 both we were in lockdown.
Okay.
So what happened was I wasted all of my time practically, wasted all of it, but by luck our JE advanced got postponed, so got a bit more time to study.
What was it like J advance rank?
So see, my JE advanced rank was 1352.
J advance?
Yes.
Oh shit.
So it was 1352, but I always wanted to do CS.
Okay.
I have been coding since 8th started.
Hmm.
It is like and I come from a family of doctors. My both parents are doctors, and it's very common in Gujarati families. I'm a Gujarati, so it's very common that okay, if parents are doctors, the child is obviously going to become a doctor. But I had free rein on choosing what I wanted to do, and coding was something that caught my eye. I got introduced to it in 8th standard. Like, I just randomly opened a textbook that was lying around in the school computer lab. Found it was mostly Java code, if I remember.
Java. Okay, so
Yes.
backend, starting from backend only.
No. It was some UI framework. Like, if I remember, it was NetBeans.
Okay.
Some UI framework to make just very simple. Like, if you know Taken in Python. It was a similar library that you can just make some clickable apps.
Okay. Before joining college, how much tech exposure did you have?
I had very basic Python and SQL knowledge.
Okay.
Like the base that we are taught in school, because I took CS in 12th. So like the CS extra subject. So that is whatever we learned, I used to learn that, and from that time I had like, okay, I need to read more, I want to learn more.
Cool.
So I had a bit of extra knowledge, and the best, I had a very thorough 12th final project for CS.
You finally got to the tech department in your first year, second sem?
First year, second sem. I applied in the first sem. What happened was I was not able to host the website that we created.
Okay.
And that was one very major part of our recruitment process. So the seniors were like, we can't take you right now. We have another better candidate. But next sem, if you apply again, we can do something.
So in brief, can you explain like what DVM does?
So DVM, the full form is Department of Visual Media. So what we handle is the fests of the campus. Primarily, we handle the fests. We make the backend architecture, the backend APIs and stuff, the main app, and a website for the fest. Now, this is just to coordinate everything.
This was your first time like serving the live users, getting your 5,000, 6,000 user base.
Yeah.
So how much hectic was it? It is a responsibility if something went wrong. You know, people just call and call.
It is a pressure. It puts pressure on you that, okay, you are responsible for everything working and functioning properly. Because once the app is deployed, you can't change it, anything. Anything we have to do is from the backend side. So it is a bit like you are under pressure, but that is also one of the things that we'll need to learn, because we'll also be working in live environments further. And this, I call DVM a very startup-like environment. It's a very pre-stage startup in a way that there is a very small set of people who know how the product works, and you are only managing it.
Okay. What would be your advice for the juniors So like how can they proceed, the roadmap they can follow for the backend development? Like many people also have doubts like which operating system to choose.
Honestly, the best way to learn here on campus is campus recruitments. Like on campus recruitments that happen for clubs and departments. Even if you don't get into the club, they'll provide you such structured tasks that even a beginner can do it and even an expert has to work on it. So there is like a very good middle ground and you learn a lot. I learned backend from this. Even the app dev I know is from a recruitment task.
You applied for app dev also?
Not DVM, SUDT.
Okay. And your views on operating system, like you are not a big fan of Windows and Mac too, to an extent.
I am not a very big fan of Mac because of the lack of customizability. Windows has a ton of reasons I'm not getting into, otherwise I can rant for 3 hours about that. But I prefer Linux for me because it is very customizable. Even if you look at the setup I have right now, that is also completely Linux based and I have customized it to my working style. That freedom is what I enjoy about Linux. But now, honestly, coming onto campus, I would say that if you have a Mac, don't worry, you will be good enough to learn all you want because almost everything that you require will be present on Mac. Like for example, even for courses, you'll require Ubuntu and stuff. And even because Mac is Unix based, you can do everything. So if you have a Mac, don't need to worry. But if you have Windows, I would strongly suggest just get into a VM or a WSL like underlying interface that helps you get familiar with Linux.
And
It's very well.
like as you mentioned, like you explored app dev also. Then why did you left app dev and just backend?
See, I am not a very creative person by say, and getting into app dev was very no like the app dev people will get offended at this, but I don't like just placing some widgets somewhere and stuff. That is not something that I very easily gel with. So I gel with backend very well. Something, and I have always been obsessed with terminals. So backend is very terminal based. So yeah.
Which terminal are you using by the way right now? I'm using Kitty. Cool. What are your opinions on WAP, like the AI terminal that has been rolled out?
I looked at it. I'm like, what benefit does it provide? Honestly, I have not used it, so I can't comment on.
Okay.
But yeah, what is
Like when people begin, like generally in the internet, the voice is you should read docs, you should read. How do you think like it's true for the beginners? Like should they consider videos, docs when they are beginning?
see when extra like beginners to coding or beginners to some framework? There that is
Okay. Beginning to like the backend technology, not just coding. Like coding could be like for loops and all that
Yeah.
that people can do in like 11.
What I say is, if you're like in any way, this is a very generic advice that I have. That is how I have learned, so I can vouch for it. Like start with videos because you'll need some starting point. Docs are very menacing when you like first look into them because it's like where do I start? So there are tutorials and how to guides on YouTube or Coursera or somewhere. You can pick up something from there, get a very basic understanding of actually how the framework works, and then you can start diving into the docs.
And after a point, like videos actually don't help much. You already you know
Reduces your speed of learning.
yeah, it reduces your speed and like the most of the content is like very beginner friendly.
Yeah.
That can be
And
passed.
no one can dive deep into every parameter, everything that a framework provides. You can just do that better.
And specific to backend, like in backend also there are many concepts. There is operating system, networking, the how the web works. So which all fields have you explored and which interest you the most?
See, because I am CS and I am in the third year, I'm almost done with all my compulsory courses. Like almost, I'm actually done with that. So we are exposed to everything: operating systems, computer networks. That is what we did in the last two sems. So honestly, the operating system side of it interests me the most because even right now, we just had a thing where we had to use a lot of like Unix system calls, and that was very interesting to like learn and understand that how actually like whatever every click or every action you do, what is actually happening behind the scenes. That is very interesting to.
And also like generally people are more aware of the web part of the backend development, right? The operating system, how the syscalls and all work aren't like in the mainstream.
Well,
So
they should not be honest because backend is very web focused.
okay.
If you want because now we are diving into low level code
Hmm.
now, because operating system is very close. It's one of the closest layers to the actual
But
hard.
it is important. But what is the job scope and all? If you are
Job scope, see, there is always going to be scope in any field if you are the best at it, because anything is not dying out. So let's see. I have looked into it because I am interested in operating systems, but there is not much scope as far as I can see right now, except you are like spending a lot of time and money and effort, because it's mostly like if you have some PhD or something in it, that is when you get hired, because it's now in R&D side. But yeah, interests and actual job is very different.
And have you also explored the cloud side, microservices, DevOps?
I have looked into very basic DevOps because now that is one very good progression from like web-based backends. And if you know DevOps, that combination is a really good combination, because that is what mainly DevOps deals with, like how the actual architecture and
The
everything.
scalability.
Yeah.
And
And mostly you have to scale the backend. Front end does not need to be scaled that much as compared.
like there is so much in backend, like there are message queues and all,
So
per
it's
services.
a very like natural progression, because you can't just straight off dive into DevOps. You need some understanding of okay, what is the thing you're actually managing.
And since you have completed your 3 years at BITS Pilani Computer Science, how much would you rate the courses, the practical knowledge the courses have provided you, the profs, the projects you have made so far?
So, see, the courses are very general because every college has to follow the same curriculum.
Okay.
The ordering of the courses might be different, so it's very general. But the extra courses that you have, like the electives that we have for like AI, ML, and that field is very well like covered here. And depending on the prof that you have for that course, uh, makes the main difference. Because if there are some profs who will dive very deep into theory but not teach you very practical stuff and does not match up.
Okay.
Like, because ML has a lot of mathematical backing to it and also a lot of practical backing. And sometimes you can even work without the mathematical backing, but depending on your interests, both of them are actually covered here. It depends from prof to prof.
And projects you have made in the computer science?
Projects are like, there are a few important course projects that you have. One of them is compiler construction.
Okay.
So compiler construction is a very like intensive project. It is one of the harder projects on campus that you do, because it is like writing a compiler from scratch, not the whole compiler but one part of it. So, and that teaches you a lot, like okay, how the code that you're writing is actually being passed and converted into the assembly level instructions. So a part of it the course teaches you, and you are actually translating what the course teaches you into code.
Okay.
And that too in C.
Okay.
So a very low level language. So you have to handle memory management, type safety, and everything you have to do, otherwise nothing works.
Also, like in the companies and all, DSA is quite famous.
Yeah.
So, do you think the BITS Pilani Computer Science DSA course is enough to crack those interviews, or people
No college course will be enough to
crack the FANG level interviews?
No,
Or
because those courses are theoretical courses.
okay.
They are there to teach you the theory of data structures and algorithms.
Okay.
This is actual practical applications of them. Now, no DSA course that is on the internet, like the YouTube stuff that everyone follow, like Striver and stuff, that does not teach you how a hash map actually works. They teach you how to use it. We learn how the hash map is actually functioning in the background.
Okay.
That is the main thing that the DSA course teaches you, how and linked list is implemented, how we use them, but at a very small scale. It is more implementation of those things, because you need to understand how it actually.
BITS Pilani is quite famous for no attendance policy. Have you leveraged that, or do you
Honestly,
attended classes?
See, there are it after a point, like first year, depending on your preparation and your knowledge level from JE, because it builds up on that. So if you have studied enough and you are strong on your concepts from JE, you can pass by without attending classes in the first year. But when you dive into your field, like your branch courses, there might be that you need to go to classes.
Okay.
Because I have started attending classes in the second, third year. I did not attend a lot in first, but I have been attending classes this time, because there are a few courses that, like, even if you just listen to it, 50-60% of the preparation is done.
Cool.
So it's just 50 minutes a day, and a lot of your preparation is done, and there are just 3 lectures a day. So it is a very delicate balancing act, and you just need to figure out your own balance and what works for you.
And your opinions on programming languages, which is your favorite one, or like different one for different use cases?
It's very use case specific. Now, if you ask me to do ML in CPV, does not make sense, because Python has very good interfaces. It's very use case specific. For example, if you want to do backend, there is so many frameworks and so many like libraries and languages that do backend. It's very, like, if you want to prioritize development speed, that is Python and Django. And if you want to prioritize actual, like, robustness and speed of operations, you can go into something like Go or Rust, because it is optimized for
Rust also, like Rust would be like difficult. Won't it?
would be difficult, but the safety it provides, and Rust has its own web development frameworks, right?
Okay.
But it has good speed
Okay.
and type safety.
Have you tried Rust?
Very, very little.
Okay.
But that, honestly, Rust is a good language if you want to understand, like, mutable pointers, immutable pointers and stuff. Those concepts are actually good.
And do you enjoy coding more or building stuff more?
Both equally. Honestly, because building stuff is, you have a goal.
No, but like nowadays you can vibe code and build stuff quickly.
Okay, yeah. So,
You can skip that coding part.
no, I would want to have the coding part.
Okay.
I would say, if this is the question, then coding part is
Then
important.
what are your opinions on vibe coding right now?
See, vibe coding,
Like-
the level that people are exaggerating it to, that okay, it can replace programmers, you can replace junior level devs at max with them. Senior developers who, like, because you cannot anything like Cursor or something. If you want to make small projects, it has enough attention for small projects with 5, 10, 20, 30 files at max. Large production level architectures will not have 30 files, it will have 30,000 files.
And there is architecture knowledge also, the system design and all.
Yes.
That is in
Bigger projects will exploit almost everything that they have. There are even certain bugs that are exploited by architectures. AI cannot do that.
So what are your opinions on AI boom right now?
See, everything has its own course. Now, I read something very good recently, that mathematicians were scared that calculator will take their jobs. Did it?
No.
They adapted. They just tried using it as a tool. So my main thing is, AI is good, very good as a tool. Try using it as a tool and an assistant, not your replacement.
Cool.
Like, it will assist you in a lot of stuff. Like, there is some mindless stuff that you have to do. Use AI for that. And it can help you with ideation also. It's not.
Okay, and one question on the editor side. You use NVim, right?
Yeah.
So like, why not VS Code or PyChar?
So, okay. So,
Does it provide speed that the people say about?
see, it's all of these decisions are very, very subjective. It's
Okay.
very person to person dependent. I am one who does not enjoy a lot of distractions. And PyCharm and VS Code and stuff, they have so many features inbuilt that if something or the other is updating, or something or the other is suggesting you something, I'm like, no, I need my chain of thought. If you break it in between, it gets a bit harder for me to continue coding and, like, think. So I would like something that is very distraction free. NeoVim is that. You can choose the amount of distraction you want.
Okay. And on the development speed side,
It is a very steep learning curve. I was forced into that learning curve.
when did you start NVim?
Honestly, when I started NVim, when my laptop was broken.
Oh, I remember.
You remember that?
And the
I had to
server.
work.
Oh.
I had to work.
Oh.
There was a few things that I was working on, and I had to code.
Hmm.
How do I code? My laptop is not working. Just use a phone.
Okay.
Use a phone and SSH into a machine, and you can code on that. But now you don't have a GUI. Without a GUI, what is the option? Nano is horrible.
Okay.
Vim was the only thing I knew. I haven't even tried Emacs.
Do you have also like interest in startups and entrepreneurship side? Like, what are your plans for the future from now? Like, you have already finished your third years, so are you aiming for big tech companies?
If a big tech company wants to hire me, I have no issues.
Okay.
But I would prefer startups, honestly. I have
Like,
a
you are in-
intern in a startup right now.
Okay.
So that is one thing that, because you have a lot of freedom, you can learn a lot more, and you are not like, freedom allows you to explore. It can allow you to like even create something much better.
And I guess you have like quite good grades also, right? And you are in computer science, you know the real stuff also, you have projects in the portfolio. So why not sit for like placements, big tech companies, and what like you can expect how much can you expect like an average salary?
See,
Like on campus placement.
on campus
What is
placement for
in gen
CS,
what is in general like the CS package? Like
CS
people
pack-
brag it about like I guess it's truth with 30 lakhs. I don't know. Some
20
people
lakhs is pushing it. 20 lakhs is easily achievable.
okay. 20 lakh is the average package of
Yeah,
Bits
because
Pilani Computer
see,
Science.
even if you look at companies like Microsoft has a standard package of 39 LPA last time I checked. To any college, any student they hire, that is the starting package.
Okay.
So if Microsoft is offering 39, a small enough like a big enough company, like a medium scale company, will be able to give out 20 lakhs.
What have you explored so far in the IML? Was it in specific to the computer science courses you took?
Yeah, they were mostly. See, I have not been very into AIML stuff. Like, so I forced myself to study AIML this semester because I didn't want a very major field of computer science just left unexplored. Because every time I tried to start it on my own earlier, I just felt very intimidated. That, okay, where does a man start? And there are very common points where people start. For example, the Andrew NG specialization that is on Coursera. That is a good place to start, but I never got to it. So I forced myself to explore AIML this semester by taking up elective courses, and that is just a way to get me exposed. And through the course projects and stuff, I'll be able to like implement stuff, read, and have a reason to go into the docs of these frameworks.
So
Which just
you were exploring more on the rather than the implementation part, the more depth theory,
yeah.
mathematical
I
side.
enjoy maths.
Did that help like to build projects or to you have gained some understanding that?
See, ML is a field that you can use the math as a black box. You don't need to understand it. You can just understand what each model and each
Correct.
different type of what do you call it, uh, learning method is doing, and just forget about the maths. You just need to see, okay, this works well with these type of data sets and stuff, and you're golden, not an issue. But if you want to research, you want to make something new, that is when you require the mathematics behind it, because you'll either need to prove in a way like a high level proof of something that, okay, this concept works because of this. You can't just have a random, okay, no, this is working because of my practical experience, I can back it up with maths. That does not work in the scientific community. You need a backing somewhere. So that is where the math comes in.
Okay.
You need to understand the math.
How well did you enjoy their research part?
See, I enjoyed the maths. The research part is so deep and it's so fast moving that even if you read a paper from say 2010, it is already outdated right now because of the speed at which this field is moving. But if you like gain some basic knowledge and then you decide a field that, okay, I want to read into this field, then it gets a bit easier. That, okay, for example, I did a project on vision transformers this semester. So we studied transformers first, then I went into the original paper that introduced vision transformers. Then you can start from there, read more how it is working, what it is actually doing. You can build up on it.
Okay. And do you have any plans of like post graduations also?
Not immediately after college. I would want to go into postgrad, but that the field I have not decided.
Okay.
Mostly it would be like a lot of companies do company sponsor postgrad, right? I would go in that direction.
Cool.
And if even if that doesn't work out, I can go for postgrad anytime.
And what are your plans for fourth year? Like your third year is ending.
Fourth year is mostly focused on placements
Okay.
because the fourth year starts with our placement cycle, and that is the main thing. And last semester of college, obviously everyone wants to like gather all the memories they can,
It was great talking with Raj Clerk. Thank you for coming to the podcast.
Thank you. I really enjoyed this also. And my first experience being on Canvas. Let's see.